Today we're hopping around the world to find the top 10 best wooden coasters ever. Yes, when the general public usually thinks of wooden coasters, they'll look at them and say stuff like, "Holy shit, do they still make wooden roller coasters?" and "Was this the first wooden roller coaster ever built?" However, despite the popularity of steel coasters and the general public's attitude on wooden coasters in general, woodies are continuing to thrive to this very day. Big name companies such as Great Coasters International, the Gravity Dupe, and especially Rocky Mountain Coaster are redefining the way we think of wooden roller coasters by adding in all sorts of crazy elements such as many twisty bits, 90-degree turns, and all sorts of special effects. Hell, even Intamin has taken up the wooden coaster and defined them by cutting the wood in a factory and using special wood to give a smooth ride and allows for wooden coaster to do really crazy things and still be smooth as glass. I've ridden 3 of the 4 Intamin wooden coasters, and trust me, you'll be seeing all of them on this list. So that definitely says something good about them. Wooden coasters come in all sorts of different sizes, ranging from cute little kiddie coasters to old-timers, to classic Mountain Bats, to twisty GCIs. But which ones are the best? Which wooden coasters can provide you with the wildest and craziest ride? Well, I haven't ridden every wooden coaster in the world, so I can't answer that. I have, however, been on a lot of wooden coasters, and I can tell you what the best wooden coasters are out of all the ones I've ridden. So sit back and take a look at some of these creations that I'm certain that any tree would have been honored to dive for a cause as great as these great rides. These are the top 10 wooden coasters. Number 10. The Raven at Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana, United States. As the first of the wooden trio at Holiday World, the Raven is frequently mentioned as one of Holiday World's best rides. For years and years, it was ranked as the #1 coaster of all time. But keep in mind that these rankings were done by the Golden Ticket Awards, where pretty much everyone is biased to the Midwest and the East Coast. In fact, it wasn't until Holiday World built another certain wooden roller coaster that replaced it, which was voted the #1 wooden coaster ever. Just look at their steel coaster list. It's always either Bizarro or Millennium Force, and that will never, ever change. But back to the Raven. I actually consider this ride to be mildly overrated, as when I first rode it in the morning, it was tremendously overrated. It wouldn't have even come close to this risk if this was just based off of my one morning ride. It was slow and kind of sluggish back then, but like so many other rides, just give it a little time to warm up and it can really take you for a wild ride. It definitely has an out-of-control feeling to it, and of course, the setting always helps. So just because something is overrated does not mean it's bad. The Raven. Edgar Allan Poe would be pleased. Number 9. The Comet at the Great Escape in Lake George, New York, United States. The Comet has a very interesting history. It first opened up as the Crystal Beach Cyclone at Crystal Beach in Canada. Supposedly the most intense roller coaster ever built. Come on, 21st century, bring this ride back. Or at least bring back one of the other Harry Travis creations that are supposedly so wild and crazy. However, then turned into the Crystal Beach Comet, which was later moved to the Great Escape in the 1990s. All I have to say is thank you, Great Escape, for saving this ride, because it really kicks ass. It kicks ass big time. With its double out and back layout, Comet will leave you breathless the entire ride. But turns on this ride are more like the turns on a wild mouse, and some of the airtime is pretty damn extreme. While the rest of the Great Escape isn't too great, with mostly standard or mediocre rides, Comet is a fantastic ride that fits in beautifully with this park. Comet. It's more beautiful than anything the Kuiper Belt has ever produced. Sorry, Pluto. Number 8. The Phoenix at Knoebels in Elysburg, Pennsylvania, United States. The Phoenix, like many wooden coasters, has a very interesting history. It first opened up as the Rocket in Playland, Texas. But then the park closed. Sad. No, not really. Nobody cares. A couple years later, Dick Knoebel of Knoebels said, "We want to rebuild the rocket here at Knoebels." Then the guys at Playland essentially said, "You can't relocate a wooden coaster. It's impossible." Then Dick Knoebel said, "Bullshit, I sure can. Just watch." And then he relocated the ride to Knoebels, and it lives on and thrills people to this very day. However, while it may have an interesting history, it provides a far better ride. This ride has airtime, laterals, positive G's, smiles, laughter, and fun tunnels galore. Everything you could possibly want on a wooden coaster, it's here on the Phoenix. The airtime on this ride, I will admit, is kind of overrated, as it really only gets really crazy in the second half. But who knows, I only got one ride on it. Maybe my ride was weaker than the other rides and it normally runs so much better, bumping it up many other spots, that I'm sure many enthusiasts wish that it was. But whatever, this ride is standing up out of your seat airtime regardless, and that always leads to a top 10 coaster. It is a great coaster in a great park. Phoenix, it's just plain badass. Number 7. The Voyage at Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana, United States. We're back at Holiday World again. I already went over the Raven, and Holiday World has yet another top 10 wooden coaster for us to enjoy. The Voyage. Now, Voyage is a kind of mixed in the coaster community, as some will bash it for being extremely rough, painful, and terrible. And come on, it's not butter smooth or anything, but trust me, there are way more painful wooden coasters out there. Looking at Voyage, it's easy to see why I like this ride. It's big, long, fast, and intense. It's got 90-degree turns. It throws you around for a wild ride. Now, Holiday World had been planning on putting timberliners on the Voyage to smooth it out, but after a certain park tried that and got disastrous results, the timberliner idea got scrapped. Whaleboard's always topper track from Rocky Mountain coasters if things get too bad, because it's really a great ride. If you thought this craziness only lasted a little while, you're mistaken. Voyage is one of the longest coasters in the world, and not just track-wise, time-wise, not including lift hills. And while I don't exactly know how long the ride is, because I don't care about stats, I just know that it's a long time for a roller coaster. Voyage. Far crazier than anything the Pilgrims had to go through. Number 6. Colossus at Heidi Park in Saltau, Germany. This ride is just one of the 4 Intamin wooden coasters in the world, and man is it freaking awesome. I mean, just look at it. It's the second biggest wooden coaster in the world. Well, actually I think it might be the biggest now. I don't pay attention to it. Might now be the... It might... No, wait, it is... I mean, just look at it. It's the second biggest wooden coaster in the world, and it has everything you want on a wooden coaster. Speed, smoothness, and a shitload of airtime. Holy crap, this thing is an airtime machine. You just get ejected over those airtime hills. Hill after hill after hill. Just pure airtime. And it doesn't slow down for a second. It just roars through all these hills. Some of them massive. Much bigger than some of the coasters on this list. And it's smooth as glass. Yeah, there may be a wee vibration here or there. But keep in mind that this is a wooden coaster over 10 years old. That is impressive. What more do I need to say? Great speed, great airtime, great reliability, great park, great ride. Colossus, having a colossal impact on wooden coasters around the world. Number 5. Coaster at PNE Playland in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Many coaster enthusiasts have never even heard of Coaster. To them, it just looks like this crappy little wooden coaster in this ghetto-looking park in the middle of Vancouver, where there are no other amusement parks nearby. So why should a coaster enthusiast go and visit this place and ride this ride? 2 main reasons. Vancouver kicks ass, and Coaster kicks even more ass. This ride is seriously fucking amazing. It has some of the craziest ejector airtime out of any roller coaster. This is not kid stuff right here. We're talking full-blown Phoenix status ejector air. Oh, and the strong laterals while we're at it. It's sad that this ride is underwritten, as PNE Playland isn't exactly a roller coaster enthusiast destination. While the park itself may not be that great, a coaster is, and as one of the best wooden coasters ever, it should be on every coaster enthusiast's to-do list. I sure did. I sure did. Coaster. It's so amazing that you don't even care that it has a bland and boring name. Number 4. Boulder Dash at Lake Compounds in Bristol, Connecticut, the United States. If you're looking at still pictures of Boulder Dash, there's not much to see. Most of the ride is hidden away in the forests of Connecticut. And that alone makes the ride badass. I mean, look at the setting of this ride. The location of this ride does not make it seem like an amusement park. It feels far more like a cliff jumping spot. Seriously, I kept expecting something like the Cascade Pond to simply just flash by on the ride. And for all I know, maybe that really did happen, and I was far too busy enjoying the mountains to notice or even care. However, unlike the Beast, another highly rated wooden coaster in an awesome location, this ride actually does crazy stuff and would still kick your ass even if it was not in the forest and just on the midway somewhere where everything was visible. I mean, this ride is lightning fast, has rib-smashing laterals, and some of the most extreme airtime ever. Oh, and if you're riding it at night, holy shit! I envy you so much, you lucky bastards. Boulder Dash. Hidden in nature, this gem shines through and truly shows its awesomeness. Number 3. Baldur at Leesburg in Gothenburg, Sweden. Yep, it's another one of those amazing Intamin wooden roller coasters. And I am not exaggerating when I say that these are the best wooden coasters on the planet. These things are just airtime machines. Baldur may not look as intense as the other Intamin wooden coasters, but do not underestimate this ride. It's got airtime galore and it is not afraid to eject you out of your seat. Once you go down that first drop, there's no stopping. It's essentially nothing but airtime hill after airtime hill after airtime hill. And Baldur has quite a nice mix of airtime. Ejector air, floater air, extreme air, sustained air, and it's all here. And man, is it all good. Baldur does have a nice variety, featuring some laterals as well as a nice sense of speed. But really, this ride is all about the airtime. There's a reason people keep raving on and on about this ride. It's freaking awesome. And I'm not even mentioning all the other great rides that Leesburg has to offer. So get your ass over to Sweden today. Baldur, it's so great that we even left our mark on it. Number 2. Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri, United States. If you've been paying attention to wooden coasters recently, you've probably heard of Outlaw Run. And yeah, it looks pretty crazy. It's got the steepest drop on any wooden coaster at 81 degrees, all sorts of beyond 90-degree banking, and the double barrel rolls at the end, yeah, they're insane. So it's got all sorts of eye candy to make it look insane. And it is! It's fucking insane! Luckily, these record-shattering elements really blend in with the ride beautifully and truly make it a much more insane experience, making it seem like wooden coasters have been doing double barrel rolls and these beyond flips and all this other crazy shit for years to come, like it's no big deal. Nothing new. What? We're the first one to do a double barrel roll? What the hell have you been doing wasting with your time? Sharp transitions and overbanked turns combined with the high speeds truly make this ride out of control. Those double barrel rolls at the end are not only amazingly fun and dizzying, but they feel completely natural and not in the least bit gimmicky. And let's not forget the airtime. Outlaw Run still does have some great airtime. Some of it is even taken sideways. Sideways airtime. Outlaw Run. This ride is so awesome that they even interviewed us to talk about just how awesome this ride is afterwards. Number 1. El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey, the United States. This ride is so fucking awesome that it is pointless to use words to describe it. But I will anyway, because it makes it that much easier. Well, first off, you just look at El Toro and you can see that this is a monster of a wooden coaster. I mean, this thing is so huge that it takes dumps the size of coaster, which, while it's also one of the best wooden coasters ever, does not even compare to El Toro. And poor Raven and Comet, they're fun and all, but they don't even show up on the radar. I'm amazed that Rolling Thunder lasted as long as it did next to El Toro, and at least I got that credit before it rightfully got demolished. Alright, expectations are set high for El Toro. You did not raise the bar high enough. Along with having some truly extreme ejector air that just gets crazier and crazier as demonstrated with the Rolling Thunder Hill, but this thing also has Maverick-style turns, roaring fast speeds, and on top of all that, it is as smooth as glass. El Toro, you will enjoy it. Best wooden coaster ever.